Hello and welcome back to Pillars of Eternity. Let's visit this cellar or ruins or mausoleum. A rising sun and the three dawn stars, the symbol of Eophas. A man lies resting against the wall, lit by the dim illumination of the fading sconces. He has a gaunt, fox-like aspect, and his face is pale and damp with sweat. One arm is held loosely against his side, sleeve soaked with blood. He gives you an anxious glance as you near, his features twisted with pain. Thought you were some... Never mind. Whoever you are, you've traveled a long way to reach a dark place. This temple isn't what it used to be. Probably for the best. Times being as they are. He groans and shifts position, wincing. I'm no looter, if that's what you're thinking. Not one of the faithful either. Just wanted to do some good, I suppose. Got my arm clawed up for it. He regards you warily. Maybe you'd have better luck. But what happened to you? I was trying to avoid the spiders. He braves a quiet laugh. Ran into a scolder. Might have gone a little better for me if the beast hadn't knocked the sword right out of my hand. Good blade too. Probably still lying there in the dust. He smiles wearily. But I'm not, so that's alright. It's not a bad wound, I think. It just hurts. What are you doing down here? The man points a finger upwards. These ruins around us used to be a temple of Eophas, the scattered god. A ground temple at that. His worshippers would come from all over the Deerwood, from Red Sarah's even. Until the war, of course. Even then, you get some of the stubborn ones. The ones that couldn't get in through their heads with their god was dead and gone. Gone. Once the legacy started, Lord Redrick decided he would be too lenient on the Eophasians. He had his people go in and put them to the sword, left them down there, buried under a heap of rock. After that, Redrick ordered the temple sealed. It's been years like that, up until recently. Lord Redrick hopes that if we rededicate the temple to a living god, then we'll be forgiven, and the legacy will end, see? But until then, the temple is as you see it, unguarded. That's where you come in. Virtan licks his lips. Those priests. Maybe they didn't have a lick of sense between them, but they still didn't deserve to go like that. Chopped down in their god's house. It doesn't sit right with me. If you can get down there, find the remains, maybe we can finally give them a proper burial. No small task. There's coin in it for you if you need motivating. Alf's cautious expression softens. A pleasant surprise to see that someone around here has a shred of respect for the dead. I'll find them. Then, by the flame, I owe you a good turn. But listen, the temple's been sealed off for so long, it's crawling with creatures. But if you get past them, the priests would have been down on the lower floor. They'll be there still, if they're anywhere. Those priests had all kind of secret chambers, switches in the walls, tricks, sconces, that kind of thing. Keep an eye out, and take care down there. I wouldn't want to have to send someone else after your remains. Ritan looks up at the stairs. You might talk to that either fellow, if Frederick hasn't hanged him yet. Word is he's a follower of the dead god. Maybe he'll know something more about this place. He's usually out by the smithy. Okay, I'll wait here by the stairs and keep a lookout. Maybe try to patch myself up some. Yeah, let's talk to this guy first. By the smithy, you said. You? No. Hmm. It's a shame that we do not get this whole transcript. I suppose we can talk to that other fellow. He's usually out by the smithy. Maybe he was hanged. Yes, you. Go look for that. Oh, there he is. The smell of pipe smoke, at once earthy and sweet, winds its way into your nostrils. Your eyes trace the smoke to its origin, where you find a broad man with straw-colored hair leaning against a mossy rock wall, his pipe held to his lips with one meaty hand. He looks you directly in the eye, but the look is not aggressive. He regards you with a peculiar smirk. I'm sorry? What are you talking about? Olaf frowns. Is that what you people do for fun around here? What makes you think I was interested in the dwarf woman? He looks at you a moment, his brow arched, his smirk broadens. Impossible, I don't drool half as much. So you're already familiar. Still, you'll have to forgive my curiosity. Around here, we prefer to turn a blind eye to our dead. I've been out of sorts lately. Of course, we all got our bad days when we stand perfectly still and stare at corpses for a while without blinking. He winks. Do you know what a water is? You think you're going to be hanged? The war? Saints' War. Only one in my lifetime. Fella decided he's the living incarnation of Eotas. Overthrows red Sarahs, marches on their wood, so we gave him Otherwoodian hello. What's Otherwoodian hello? He smiles at this, but it is the smile of one recounting a joke for other effect rather than enjoyment. Who is Eothas? God of rebirth and redemption, formally anyhow. Maybe they call him something different where you're from. Why was your headman hanged? Got involved. Redrick sent men down here the other day. Said they had it on good authority someone in town was working with Kolsk. plotting Redrick's overthrow. Said if he didn't come forward right then and there, they would hang every last one of us. No one was coming forward, so Sweden, that's my headman, he steps up and says it's him. They took him at his word. He sighs and shakes his head, his eyes fixed on the tree. Bound to happen sooner or later. If not for plotting against Redrick, then for protecting me. What does your town have against you? Olaf glanced at you and lowers his voice. You can see why I was eager to leave. Who's Kolsk? Someone who got tired of all the hangings. He's on the run now, probably will be till they catch him. If you're next to be hanged, what are you still doing here? He gives a half smile. Drinking, mostly. Point of fact, I'm on my way out. Just haven't figured out where I'm going yet. There are a whole lot of places out there that don't think Wadewen's legacy started with Wadewen. We could travel together. Where are you headed? Some place called Caed Noa. There's an old watcher there who might be able to help me. There's a fine reason, if I ever heard one. He tilts his head forward and gives you a pointed look. Then let's get going. And we can level you up. Okay, so I assume you are some sort of ranger. There. Let's see. Let's give you athletics. Oh, you have 5 points. Okay, more athletics, some survival. Maybe Outlander's Frenzy? Gallant's Focus. Okay. No new class unlocks, okay. And on another level. Defender, Confident Aim, Disciplined, Barret, or Guardian Stance. Let's give you Defender. We are in need of some defending. Oh, you're okay. Weirton nods at you in greeting, Cradle using your time. You've returned. Find anything? Not yet. So long as it's not before Redrick sends someone down here, we'll never get the remains after that. Might not get anywhere, for that matter. Okay, let's go. Ooh. That was quick. He's gone. What was... I mean, that was Will of Wisp, I get that. This parchment is worn and tattered, and the ink upon it faded. In this time of hardship, must have just as much faith in ourselves. I think we can keep going on. I left someone, right? Yep. Come on, get here quickly. Do we have anything you can eat? Endurance. 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 Goddamn spider. I have some parchment on me. Where is it? Mother, I have asked Brother Edric to carry this letter to you, for he travels to New Humor come morning. With him goes what a coin I have, and I hope it will ease the surprise of an unexpected homecoming, for I mean to follow in a few days' time. Our village is much changed, and though I do not wish for you to worry, I do not feel it is safe to remain. I know Rectix or Brika will not approve, but the letter trails off here. Come on. Whoever sat here left in a hurry. Ink has dripped across the scroll, obscuring its contents. The pile of furniture is branded with scorch marks. This looks like a shifting wall. I mean, you do not fight it first. This parchment is relatively intact, but the ink upon it has faded. You can make out a few patches of careful, tidy script. Visitors to the ritual floor. Rectrix opericasses. Demption for even these who forgot and struck the largest blow first, rather than second. The rest is... okay. Oops. Another one. The nearby crystals light the cracked mosaic floor in shades of orange, and at certain angles the metallic symbol beneath your feet gleams gold. As you look on, the air shimmers as if with summer heat. The very dust and air seem to pull together until a thin, glowing mist appears before you. In its rippling gleam, you sometimes think you can see the shape of a man, features rendered in broad strokes of air and smoke. Is anyone else seeing this? Your voice sparks movement, the spirit surges with a sudden blazing light, and in the next moment you are somewhere else, your mind assailed with a sudden wave of fear and noise. You are in the chapter hall. Priests and faithful have gathered in a great crowd, spilling into the hall. Bodies press against you, surging forward to listen. Your own grief is mirrored in the faces around you. Some of the initiates are weeping. Someone has snuffed the candles and the room is dark, save for the podium, lit from behind. Two people stand before it, lit in silhouette. A man is shouting, voice so ragged with fear you cannot understand what he says, but the rhetoric stands calm, unmoved. Her strength will see you all through these dark times. You feel that hope like a spark behind your ribs. Somewhere behind you, someone begins to sing. The spirit tears itself from you with sudden dizzying force, and you find yourself back before the ruined altar, swaying. The spirit fades as suddenly as it appeared. The face of this statue has had most of its features struck off, along with portions of its head. The red-brown smears flake away under the toe of your boot. Not you. Why are you always behind? Why can't you use the chance? The archipelago wends its way between the great eastern ocean and the restless ocean, hundreds of small islands in the midst of the water. Few dare brave its treacherous rapids, and fewer still have returned to tell tale of their adventures through it. Travel between the two oceans is virtually impossible. Great storms hammer any ships foolhardy enough to attempt to navigate, and this alone should be enough to deter anyone from attempting to voyage, and as untold ships have gone down, tossed against the rocks. The weather and treacherous rocks are only a precursor to the actual horror of the archipelago, the terrors of the deep. No one knows how many creatures stalk the oceans, waiting for unsuspecting sailors to drift into their waters, but we do know of some. Barbed ravager, a giant shark that is known to ram passing vessels, trying to knock sailors off the deck and smash a hole in the hull. It has tremendous spines protruding from its side and back that are presumed to be poisonous. The largest sighted barbed ravager with survivors was estimated to be almost 30 feet long. Winding serpent, smaller round than the ravager, but potentially longer, with winding serpent attacks in small packs, usually 3 to 8. They have long, sharp heads somewhat reminiscent of a barracuda. Like the ravager, they repeatedly slam into the side of a ship, hoping to crack a hole in it or knock someone from the deck. They have also been known to swim to the depths and shoot up out of the ocean, landing on the deck, coiling and winding their way around, snapping up any crew they can before plunging back into the ocean. Leviathan, Imagine the largest whale you have ever seen. The Leviathan is at least 10 times that size. By the time a ship sees a Leviathan, it is already too late. They rise from the depths, the water around them begins to spin and sink, creating a whirlpool. The Leviathan's body surrounds the hapless vessel, preventing escape, and as it goes down, the enormous mouth opens, pulling all aboard to their watery deaths. Pulpover. All the creatures you've read about in this book are nothing compared to the pulpover, barely the size of a man. What they lack in size and strength, they make up for in numbers and terrifying viciousness. Their lower halves are a mass of tentacles like an octopus or a squid, but more numerous. The tentacles are long, black whips with suction caps on the underside and small thorny barbs on the top. The sheer number of tentacles gives them frightening speed when walking on land, pulling themselves forward almost as fast as a running horse. While they vaguely resemble a human from the waist up, any extended examination proves how wrong that assumption is. Long, stringy black hair falls from the top of their heads to cover a face taken directly from a nightmare. A wide, gaping mouth cuts across the bottom of its head from ear to ear, full of wicked, dagger-like teeth. Two large, round eyes are sunken into its head, black as coal, shining with a malevolent fire. A small antenna protrudes from the middle of its forehead, ending in a small nodule that can glow with an eerie blue light. One can imagine a sailor on the deck of his ship at night, looking out across the black water, blood freezing as countless lights appear beneath the surface, rising towards him as the pulpover swarm upward. Because they seem to be more octopus than man, they can collapse in on themselves, fitting into spaces no person should be able to. The smallest crack in a hull, the slightest separation between boards offer them entrance. It is not unknown for them to slaughter an entire crew from hold up to deck by infiltrating the ship from underneath. Fortunately, they do not seem to have spread too far outside of the archipelago, but there may come a day when pulpover attacks become commonplace. Bellamy stands in front of the drink tray. Bellamy's picking up a small metal box next to the brandy. What could possibly convince him to give her up? Bellamy opens the box and observes its contents. He looks up, a wicked grin on his face. He closes the box and sets it down. He turns his back, lost in thought. The door flies open and Torfel enters. He sees Bellamy and stops. Bellamy turns at the noise of the door, eyes wide. Torfel beat. What? Bellamy immediately rushed, interrupting. Torfel, my good man, such a pleasure to finally meet you after so long. Torfel, who? IRB, surely you were expecting me. Did you not get word I would be here tonight? When I only just arrived, the weather kept me up, else I would have arrived sooner. How? Tafinda let me in and told me to wait for you in here. She said that she was off to find you. Irby? Of course. Welcome to my home. So sorry for my manners. I was not expecting you for at least an hour. They shake hands and then Torfel starts pouring drinks for them. Yes, well, it's just this contract. I am eager to settle the matter. We both know it must not fail, don't we? Torfel stops. But I was told you were set against this. I invited you here to convince you. Would you rather I change my mind back? Shall we argue a bellboard point, or shall we celebrate our new accord? Of course, how stupid of me. Torfel holds a glass out to Bellamy's. To business. Bellamy sets the glass down and picks up the box. He opens it and sticks his finger inside. It comes out with a dark paste on it. He reaches toward Torfel's mouth. Shall we celebrate properly? Oh, no, I never touched Sfef, but I knew you were partial to it. By all means, go ahead. Bellamy grants and looks at his finger. He approaches Torfel. I must say, this turn of events is quite welcome. I was sure it would take hours to... Thrusting his finger at Torval's mouth. What is that? Turning his head so Belm's finger passes by his lips without touching. What? Oh, nothing. My mistake. I was sure I saw something. Belmis walks around behind Torval and approaches him from the other side. I was sure it would take hours to convince you to see things from my side. It does my heart good to... Thrusting his finger at Torval's mouth again. There it is again! Turning his head so Belmis's finger passes by his lips without touching. What? Where? Belmis, under his breath. Nothing. I guess I was just imagining things. That must be incredibly potent stuff. I've never heard of it working before application. Be careful now. Oh, fine sword. To his grace, I rang to implore. The rest of the letters crossed out in several places, and then abandoned altogether. Oh, do you have a portion of spirit shield? Oh, give that to me. Okay, who has highest mechanics? Can I check it? Oh. 0, 3, 3. Oh, okay. Kinda. And with that, I'm gonna end this part here. So, thank you very much. Stay alive and see you soon. Bye.